searching for the cutest guy. Fucking linebacker.
So anyways, I saw this TikTok and it was about a girl and she pretty much did the same thing that Talia did, and it was like rateaprisoner.com, but now they're married and there's like an age gap between them, which seems to be a common where the man is younger. But yeah,
I've been seeing that a lot lately,
right?
Too, actually.
So they're married and stuff. I just wanted to ask you, for anybody that's thinking about writing a prisoner, what would you say to them?
Okay, I want to make it
think
clear.
this should be
I didn't go out of my way to write
prisoner.
him. All right. I want to make that clear. That just happened. I mean, I don't know.
You didn't think it was gonna go anywhere?
Yeah, I didn't think it was gonna go. I didn't think I added him.
That's what she said too.
Like I was gonna go. I was gonna talk to him, and then I realized it costs money, and I was like, what am I really doing? Like, you know, like it hit.
That's what she said too.
Yeah, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do that. And then I didn't realize by me making an account, I had already added him. Like I didn't notice that. So he had already seen my name. So he's like, who? Obviously, he's like, who is she? And then he kept messaging me, and then I felt bad because now I'm like, fuck. You know, like you feel bad. You're like, shit, I just hopped on this guy's shit. He's probably like, who is she? Like,
but why did you message him to begin with?
I saw this girl on TikTok and how she met her husband, and then I was just interested. Not necessarily to
But
be
was
a
he
man
cute to
like
you
that.
or something? Is that why you messaged
Her husband?
him?
No,
the guy
him.
that you messaged.
No, it was the first person I clicked.
Oh.
Literally the first person I clicked. That's what I'm saying.
Photo?
Yeah. And I was like, oh, he's cute, but I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna message him. Like I was like, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. You need to pay to message him, and I was like, oh, fuck it. And then he kept messaging me, and then it was the next day that I finally responded because I felt bad. He was like,
did you have to pay to reply too?
Yeah, I had to pay to reply. It was like 10 cents or whatever. So I put some money on there and I responded to him because I felt bad. And then that's how we started talking. He was literally the first person that popped up. That was just luck.
Did you feel like it was a little bit crazy because you were gonna get married, this and that? You're really devoting your life to this person that you never met in real life. Did you ever sit back and think like, oh wow, I'm really taking a leap of faith here? Or did you think that everything was normal?
That. Yeah, I know, I knew that. You're not completely delusional when you're in it. Like, you know how it looks to other people. You know how it even looks to yourself. You have your own insecurities because of that alone. It's not like a typical relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you have your own kind of doubts.
Yeah, like you'll have your own doubts, your own things. Like there's a lot of questions and a lot of things in your mind that like plays through. It's not just like, oh.
How about it you were? I didn't think that you even had those doubts. I thought that you were just like.
I did. For sure. I wasn't stupid. Like, I'm not born yesterday. I feel like you have to go into anything having doubts, especially when it's a relationship like that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, but I feel like everybody always thinks that. Everybody always thinks like I was fucking on the site searching for the cutest guy I can find. Like, no, I didn't do all that. Like, it wasn't even like that. I was literally at work when this happened.
Do you feel like it's expected for a woman that's talking to somebody that's incarcerated to hold it down for them and like wait it out even though it's years? Or do you think that it should be more acceptable?
It depends who you're talking to.
Like, they should understand.
Yeah, like a lot of guys, like, yeah. You have to remember, the first situation I was in, he never asked me to do that. I chose to do it. He wasn't telling me that I couldn't do what I wanted. I wanted that. Mm-hmm. It was the second relationship that I got in that he was telling me that stuff.
You don't really want
and
that?
I didn't really want that. The first one I was in, I wanted to. I didn't want to have sex with anyone. Like, I was okay with waiting. Like, it was a choice. Whereas the second one, it wasn't really a choice. I just was like, fuck, like, I felt bad. Like, I felt like I owed this person a lot. But now I don't really feel like that at all, obviously. Because obviously I'm still talking to guys in prison, but it's just, it is what it is. I feel like, you know, like, sometimes people are just what you need them to be for the moment, and I feel like I'm that person for a lot of people. I'm what they need in the moment, and I'm okay with being that. Sometimes you're not meant to be in somebody's life long term. You just need to get them through whatever they need to be through in that moment, and vice versa. So
that's kind of crazy because it like falls into the notion that they're like lessons. Not everyone is meant to be in your life for forever.
Also too, I know I helped a lot of those guys. And that kind of gives me, like, I guess more, like, a sense of ease. Like, you know, it doesn't feel like a complete waste of time knowing that, like, I helped somebody. Even though I couldn't do much, I was still there for them. And that makes me feel, like, you know, like, okay.
I hear that. That's deeps. What about you, Destiny, when you wrote a prisoner?
I didn't write a prisoner. I was talking to a prisoner because they were my friend.
I'm joking.
But we weren't in a relationship. He was just somebody that I loved, like in a friend type way. You definitely feel bad for somebody that's going through that type of situation, especially because you know that they're like looking forward to like spending time on the phone with you, looking forward to talking to you about their day. I can only imagine what it's like to be in prison. You just want a connection. You shouldn't forget that there's also an outside world that you need to explore. Not saying every guy is bad, but I feel like a lot of women get exploited by guys that are in that system because they just want company, so it's like, are they
And
really being
vice versa.
selective?
I know a lot of people don't realize it happens the other way around too, but it does.
Like, women on the outside just want company, and they know that they're
like,
gonna give them the
and
time
they'll
of day
use men
because they're in there.
Yeah.
So they're
Like,
gonna
a lot
give them
of
the
guys
time of
will
day.
give-
They're
they'll
gonna
give-
give attention.
They'll even give their last penny. Like, there's guys in prison, I know they've put themselves in shit situations for a girl just because they wanted somebody to love and answer the phone.
Because you're
goes
desperate
both
at that
ways.
point.
Like, it goes both ways. People always think it's just the one way, but you have to realize the people in prison are really the ones that are like, they're really the ones that have nothing. Like, you're the one with the power at the end of the day, being the person who in the relationship, not in prison.
Yeah, and I think
Not
that's
them.
why women look for it.
Yeah, you can milk niggas in prison depending on who it is. He'll give you a lot. Fuck, he has no one else, which is also sad. But
It's sad because, you know, nobody wants to be used. Talia's head is now nowhere in existence.
What's spilt on here, fam?
nothing. It's just thing.
What?
The condensation?
Condensation.
How far is this okay?
The condensation.
We've been watching a lot of content on friendships, and they're so interesting. Sometimes people are really not your friend, and you need to take that into account and know when to leave a situation that's not for you.
Dustin, you look so small here.
It was in comparison to me. I look like a fucking linebacker compared to you guys. I'm taking up literally the whole fucking camera, bro. You just... And then there's you guys in the corner like... That's why.
Talia!
This girl's when I'm in the camera like.
Because I look so wide. I'm literally the same size
you
of
sit back?
you two together. It doesn't matter. It's not about sitting back. I'm next to fucking twigs, dog. Put you two together is the same length as me. That's why.
Can you sit back?
No, don't tell me what to do. It's not gonna make a fucking difference.
Talia! A lot of make up your own.
They don't know what it's like to be big.
I'm kind of blessings because I don't think you would want to be a twig. I think you would be very upset because I remember when you were MAGA and you used to constantly
Yeah, at
complain
least I
about
had
your
clothes to
garlic
wear.
stick bread butt that you had.
Yeah, but it's still, I had clothes
So you
to
would
wear.
rather that though?
Yeah, I'd still rather
no
that
shade?
than be big. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
I don't know. I feel like
can't
it's weird
find
because
clothes
I
for
never
it.
had shape.
Yeah, you guys have never been big. That's why.
Yeah.
You guys have never walked into the store and not been able to buy shit. Like, you don't understand. That's why it's not worth it. It's easier to be skinny, even if you don't like how it looks.
So you would still.
Also, too, because everybody else likes how it looks. Even if you think you're ugly, it doesn't matter. Every nigga still wants to fuck you because you're a twig.
Really? I
Yeah.
feel like in my experience, because I've always been so thin, I feel like especially the demographic of like black men.
Well, yeah, because also,
You
too,
know?
you've always really liked black men. I'm
Yeah.
more open to...
Maybe different, but
racist.
yeah, like they like
But-
thicker women, and it's like, you know, not me, I'm super thin.
But they also don't really care. Like, being thin is not disgusting to them. We're not in Jamaica. Like, we're not in the Caribbean where it's like, I would actually feel bad for you because then guys would be like, yeah, that's nasty. It's still the ideal. Like, you know what I mean? Like, black men, even if it's not their ideal body standard, they know what's the ideal body standard for most men. So they're still winning. Because that's how men date. Men date to impress other men and other people. So picking up someone like you, they're still winning. Whereas someone like me, they're only winning with like 30% of the demographic. Everybody else thinks I'm just a fat, ugly bitch.
I don't know where we are in society though. I feel like it's changed, but I remember you were like, no, not in most places though.
Overall, it's the ideal is still to be skinny.
That's the standard.
If I gain 50 more pounds, I'm fucked. I'm not even thick anymore. I'm just obese. And even now, a lot of people would watch this and think I'm obese. Like, they would be like, she's fat. What is she talking about? She's not thick. Like a good 60% of men would think that, black or not.
I don't see that at all. Cause like when we're talking about obese, like first of all,
thinking
also
like
depends,
big.
right? A lot of the time I've been like, yo, somebody's not obese, and then technically, you know what I mean? Like the weight they go by, what obese means, and your
Well,
BMI and
technically,
stuff,
I'm
it's
already
like,
obese, but I'm not talking
Yeah.
technically. I'm talking visually.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
visually,
That's
people
what I'm
still
talking
wouldn't
about.
consider me obese. But if I gain another 30 to 50 pounds, yes, they would. I feel like this should be my new drink of choice.
It was a mixture made by me.
This was made by you?
Yeah, I mixed peach and crown.
Oh, and you put it in this.
Yeah, but I don't know, I can't discredit how you feel, especially because I've never experienced my life bigger. So you've dealt with
No,
experiences
you guys
that I
have never
never
been
know.
big at all.
Yeah.
You've never even been close to that. not even like a question. So that's what I'm saying, like it's different. Overall it's easier being skinny. I didn't necessarily liked how I looked, but it's not like I'd be lying. Like it's easier to be skinny, 110%. Not just even close, it's even just how you're perceived, how you're taken, like everything, even down to
how
your
you're
health.
treated, how you're looked
at.
Because you're looked at as unhealthy, like you're not serious, like you're lazy.
Well,
like
it's not even that. Like you can have a serious issue and all they're gonna tell you is to lose weight. They don't. Your problem is you're fat. Like they're not gonna look into anything else. Like it's just you're fat. Like there's a lot of fat phobia in the world, and people don't really they don't see it.
I just feel like because I've been so thin my whole life though, and I've always hated that, and I've always got called like you look sick, you look this, you don't eat enough, this does not look good, you need to eat more, you've lost so much weight. Okay, like I get it, I look disgusting. Like holy, thank you for stating that. I actually don't like what I look like. I don't like my weight. You don't need to say that to me. But I think because obviously, skinny isn't in society. It's not viewed the way that like being overweight is viewed, right?
Yeah, and it just makes you feel bad. Like I get what you're saying.
Not.
Like people will be like, oh, like you look sick and stuff. But your parents haven't sat you down and literally looked at you like you're dying. I went to diabetes camp. I even had to do the glucose test. I passed it. I wasn't pre-diabetic, and I was still in pre-diabetes camp. Because I was big in grade 7, from 7 to 8. I went twice a week. And if you look at me in grade 7, I wasn't even overweight. I was, I guess, maybe technically overweight for my height, but I wasn't overweight. Like if you visually looked at me, you would not think, oh, this girl's overweight. You just wouldn't assume I was in grade 7. Like I looked older. I was developed.
Have you like ever noticed, because I have definitely noticed that with my weight, like when I'm my thinnest, there's usually a lot of stress and anxiety or something, or depression. Like have you noticed that with you gaining weight? Or is it like when you're happier?
I just fluctuate weight. I don't fucking know why.
I get super skinny, it's anxiety.
Even the weight I did gain from not smoking like a couple months back, I thought I would have lost it by now just naturally, because I'm not even eating that much, and I still haven't lost it.
Like it would have fluctuated by now.
Yeah,
because remember when you initially lost a lot of weight, you were smoking a lot, and then like I feel like you lost a lot of weight drastically in a short amount of time.
And also because of the relationship.
It was the relationship. It wasn't because I was smoking though.
Like high stress, high anxiety, like you can't eat.
But I used to faint a lot too in that relationship, and that stopped after we
that
were
probably
together.
Also coincided with it. It's scary.
Being skinny, it's just socially acceptable. It's just easier. If we were to all go to a birthday party younger, right? It's pizza time. Everybody gets a slice of pizza. You guys wouldn't think you wouldn't think twice about asking for seconds. Like you would just do it or just go get it. I'm gonna think about that. Like at a very young age.
How you're being perceived.
Yeah, because how I'm being perceived. Because now they're like, oh, that kid's fat. Why is she going for another one? Like you think about all those types of things when you're fat. And I envy that type of stuff because I was young thinking about that type of shit, and that's the thing that pisses me off.
Like took that away from your childhood.
Have to that's why I didn't like taking pictures with you guys though. So sometimes I didn't want to be around you guys. So sometimes I didn't want to go shopping with you guys because I'm not shopping. You guys are shopping. I'm just there. I'm just the big fat friend in the back.
Like how you always felt. You're like, I get it. You know what I mean? I look 30. Thanks,
yeah, and that's another thing too. Yeah,
eight.
people are gonna come up to us and be like,
it
was always so obvious. Like, oh, who are you to them? Are you the friend?
Yeah, their aunt. Their aunt. Some dumb shit. Like you know,
actually, it was just constant. Yeah, it was a constant reminder. Like you look grown and big. Like okay.
I remember I viewed that though as like, wow, like she looks grown and I look.
Oh,
like
so
kid.
Cool. Like I wish I could be like Talia.
Yeah, I wish I could be like her. Like I just still look like a kid. I remember being in high school and I'm like, I still look like a kid. When I'm ever gonna be pretty, it's always like, oh, you're so cute. You look 4. Like when is that?
Yeah, but I never got that compliment with it. It wasn't people were like, pretty? Oh, you look so old and you're pretty. It was just, oh, you look so old. Why are you so big? Like, it was more of a, why are you so big? Especially in comparison to 2 fucking elves. So it's really like, why are you so big?
Yeah.
Because I was above the growth spectrum and you guys were below it.
Yeah.
So in comparison, it's like, wow, you're really not, like, you're really big for your age. Your parents should really be watching what you eat.
I remember though feeling like it was the pretty thing though, but maybe that was just because how I like viewed other things, like not because of the comments or like the comments that older people made or whoever made.
Because of how you viewed the idea of being older.
Exactly. Be like, oh, I'm talking to this guy or something, and I'm like, I can't do that. No one is attracted to me at all. Like nobody's gonna, like no one is attracted to me.
Especially
like I
back
can't
in those
do that.
days, I had like a unibrow, a mustache.
I was ugly too. The only difference is I was grown ugly. So I feel like that was even worse.
But no,
because then now it's like these people think I'm even older than I am and I look this bad.
But I honestly think
like at least you guys have the age going for you.
Be real though.
Like they're 12, but okay, they're 12.
Be honest though, fam. Out of all three of us, and I know for Nate, they were here, they would agree with me. I was the ugliest person in that group. To be honest, like
I feel like it was a tie between me and you. Yeah, I don't think.
I think I won by a landslide, guys. Like the way I was so.
Because you also have to remember too, like people that like you were still small, cute, and petite. Like you had that going for you. I was ugly and big and fat. Like that's the thing. I had the fucked up teeth. I had everything you had, and I was big and fat. But you didn't have that.
No, fam. But remember, and you know that too. My fucked up teeth were way worse.
Yeah, they were worse, but I still had fucked up teeth.
I still had fucked up teeth. When Talia got braces, she said, I don't know why you don't have braces. And I was like, because I'm broke and my parents can't afford it, Talia. What the fuck are you talking about? We literally cannot even afford to turn on the heat. You know that we sleep in winter jackets on my house. How the hell would I afford braces? Literally, like finally then I could get braces when I was older. You know, I was like, damn, like, okay, thanks. Like, that's actually what I've wanted my whole life. We can't afford. Talia, like, I don't know. Just like I remember being like, oh well, she's just prettier. And Destiny's looked the same her whole damn life. Like I don't even. Destiny's never she's not part of the conversation. Like
Destiny had her first boyfriend in like grade 1.
In grade 1, like she's literally.
You're one of those people. People always liked you. People always thought you're pretty. People always wanted you. It was never like like even if you had your own insecurity, it didn't matter because it was in your head. Everybody in the grade still thought you were the prettiest girl in the grade. Yeah, like it was never an issue for you.
And everybody has said that. Like Destiny has never changed. Yeah. Like, the only thing, maybe she did her eyebrows. That's it though. Destiny just did her eyebrows.
Do her hair.
Me and Talia really went through the mud. We looked like sewer rats that you could find in New York. It was scary. Sewer rats with eyeliner and a straight bang. Just picture a rat. If you could get a rat here
and a half an eyebrow and a half an eyebrow so far apart. The Avril Lavigne fucking things. Emo rat. And then don't forget the red and white tie. And then with DC, I used to wear the DC high tops. Jesus Christ.
What a time to be alive.
Like, oh my god, you could just tell we were going through, like, I know any black person that looked at us was like, damn, they are going through it right now. Yeah, that biracial confusion is
Destiny
hitting.
was just wearing a sunflower.
Yeah,
like, she was always
looking like she's trying to go to Hawaii.
Yeah, like, Hawaii. And me and Talia were like,
I was just trying to be a video vixen. I was watching BT, and then these girls were like, I'm Avril Lavigne. I'm white, guys.
Like literally, we're like, bro, I love Avril. Like, okay, you guys literally really know, bro. Like,
but I think that's the difference though about like looking like semi-white passing and not. Like Destiny never had Destiny never had the inkling to prove that she was white because people look at you and believe you. That wasn't the question with us. No. If I didn't show my white dad, they weren't buying that shit.
So I had a different experience growing up than you guys did.
You don't experience that whole like kind of like not being able to accept that I'm biracial. No, I'm not. People are gonna perceive me as a black.
Because you guys faced like racism growing up for being colorism. Black. You guys were called ugly for being black. You guys were like discriminated against in school for being black.
And I think a lot of people don't like. Of course, though, like I'm not a dark skinned woman, for example, or a darker tone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's very.
So our struggles even different than theirs. Yeah,
whenever they try to be like, oh, like I'm trying to compare and be like, no, I'm not an idiot. I understand.
But there's definitely like there's a level of like connection there. I can't speak for all mixed women, but I know most mixed women, especially us, it's easier for us to be friends with women who are fully black than women who are fully white, and that's because of that. 100%. It's like I can completely understand where you're coming from, whereas like a white,
not completely, but I can
understand. Like I've never necessarily felt exactly what you're feeling, but like I've felt it on like a little standard, a little way. Whereas like a white woman, she doesn't even see it. If we were to bring it up, she'd be like, what are you talking about?
Me and Talia we're lighter now than we were as kids. I was way darker as a kid. I don't know, I think when you also grow up around, like that's the demographic of people you're growing up around is white fucking other girls, you know what I'm saying, and boys and all this. So the white boys find the white girls cute and the white girls find other white girls pretty. And social media and everything.
No, not social media. Because we weren't on social media when this stuff started. I mean media in general. Like if you looked at like TV, like if you looked at who was the popular woman in movies or in TV shows, all the top stars were white. Selena Gomez, Demi Lovato, Miley Cyrus, like
Yeah, I don't care.
Nick Jonas, Zac Efron, like all the people who were anything were white. Vanessa Hudgens, even though she technically isn't white, but that
Even though Selena Gomez is
she's white passing,
white
yeah, like
too,
not technically, but they're white
passing.
passing, so it's like they can get through things. Like it's just different.
Yeah, the Barbies we were playing with,
All
the
the
music videos we were watching.
Even the Disney princesses. We didn't have a black Disney princess because
Until
Princess
my
and the Frog
sister's
didn't come
age,
out
yeah.
until we were. So we never had a black Disney princess.
I remember your mom, my dad having conversations with us about like how we are black. We are going to, when people see us,
That
that's
we're
what
gonna
they're
be
going to
perceived as
see.
black,
We're
yeah.
gonna be perceived as black, and it was so hard for me to like understand that. But when I got older, I went through the whole thing, and it was like literally the opposite, where I was like, wow, I love being black, and I've spent so much time trying to be white that I'm not black enough now. That is what I struggled with a lot.
I went through that.
You went through that too, yeah. Literally that early. Like, I'm too white for the black kids, too black for the white kids. Like, I really went through that in middle school because I was like, I spent all this time trying to be a white person.
So
like,
now you
why
have to
did
like
I want that, bro?
overcompensate.
Yeah, now I have to overcompensate and be super quote unquote black. It made no sense, but and from that I think that's where a lot of my like self-hatred stemmed from, because I just always hated who I was. Like, I could never fit in and just be like, yo, I like who I am. It was always like, I hate this person, I hate this person, why can't you be more like this, why can't you be more like this? When did you go through that? Like,
I would say it was even after high school. Only listening to literally like trap and dancehall, and it felt like I needed to like make up for all the time lost. But now I just feel like I'm like, I don't really care. It's just in the middle. Yeah, it is. I am who I am.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
For me, it was young. It was like when I started like mindless behavior.
Yeah, I was about to say for you, it kicked off young. For me, it was still
young. I was like grade 7,
really
I
there.
think.
But when I hit like grade 9 is when I started shifting the way I looked at romance. Because before I wouldn't even allow myself to find a black man attractive, because God forbid I did and I went down that route. Now I'm gonna have black children. I can't do that to them. Like, that was always my mentality. They can't, like, I have shit hair for a mixed girl, especially when I was comparing myself to you two, because my hair is a like more coarse texture. My hair is way on the blacker side, so I was like, I can't do that to them. I didn't even get the good hair. I'm not even that white.
Well, that's crazy that you even thought of it as good hair.
That's how I thought of it, though. I'm not even that white. I can't risk producing with a black man, because then what am I going to give them? Nothing. That's how I used to think. So I wouldn't even allow myself to find black men attractive or even look at them in that aspect. Like, now when I look back, I was like, damn, Corbin Blue was so cute. And I would have I couldn't even give myself the chance. And I was 7, 8
because like the self-hatred was so
But the self-hatred was so deep that I wouldn't even let myself find another person of color attractive, because I knew it didn't make sense unless they were white passing enough where it's like, okay, our kids wouldn't have to deal with that. That's what I thought of. Like, what? For one, you're not even having kids with Zac Efron. For 2, you're 10. You think Zac Efron's looking at you. Like, all of these things are just crazy. But then, yeah, like, the self-hatred is insane.
I don't think I ever, because I was so young, and even when my shift happened, I was also so young.
I remember
Bieber, I was always attracted to black men, you know? So I never
No,
really
I remember
went through
it
that.
being very prominent in my head that I could not find black men attractive, because
I could see that, though,
I
just
didn't
because of
want
like
to
who you were talking to. But then
want
in
my
high
kids to
school, I
struggle.
saw that change.
And that's when I said, that's when the shift changed. That's when I was like, wait, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I was like, this is so stupid, because I don't want my kids to have 4C hair, because I don't want them to be darker skinned. And it's not even because I didn't want that.
Because
It's
society.
because I didn't want them to have to deal with what society would put them through. Like, I just knew your life would be
'Cause you
easier
got
if
a
you
little
looked white.
taste of
Yeah,
it,
I
so-
got a taste of it, so I didn't even want my kids to get the whole. Why would I want you to get the whole mouthful when I got the taste? Like, it wasn't fun.
Yeah.
But it's so sad to think that, like, at such a young age where it's like I
You're already
didn't
thinking
even
about
have
that?
my period. I couldn't even procreate, let alone thinking about what I had to do to procreate to save my imaginary children from heartache and racism and the patriarchy. Like, what? Like, what?
That's so sad, bro. And Destiny, you never went through.
That's crazy,
those
because I
things,
didn't have like, no. I just, like, especially me too, like, I don't know, I grew up watching Disney Channel, MTV, yes, but I was also watching BET, the Video Vixens, and I just thought, ooh, like, you know,
I
she's a
remember we were
baddie.
too, though.
Like, especially Destiny's
I wasn't allowed
Child.
to watch BT.
I remember us watching it at my house, or else at least I remember watching it. Maybe you were watching. She was on Twitter all the time.
I wasn't allowed to watch
about
BET.
One Direction, but I remember sitting down and watching BET, and I used to always watch it because Mindless Behavior would be on those times.
But even, like,
So I
before
remember
that, like, early growing up, I was just like,
before
oh,
that, remember that
like, I
big
just thought
music
black
video?
people were beautiful.
Like super young,
I don't know what you're
probably
talking
because of my dad, you know. But still, that didn't I don't know, it didn't resonate with me at the time, you know?
I don't know, I feel like because my mom, I was just already so heavily invested in black culture from a young age, so I didn't look at it the same, but I was just like very much here or there or whatever.
But that's because you didn't have to, because it's
Cartel,
like
and I was also into Nickelback.
Like, you know? You didn't have to look at it any different because you benefited from it. Like, you were never gonna look at, like, if you were listening to that shit, you would never be perceived as ghetto.
Yeah, no.
Or ratchet black girl. That's why. Whereas like my mom never let me watch BET because she said you're gonna be ghetto because of that. So I wasn't allowed to go where all the black kids hung out.
And whereas you're
like my mom was teaching me
your
that.
mom is a dark skinned
Yeah, but she was still teaching me that because obviously she knows where that stuff is
society
still.
is.
Unfortunately, the way
it's a bit different.
We are in the hood with black kids and black communities.
Her mother is a white woman that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really is invested into black culture and Caribbean culture and all these things. Like, I still grew up around a predominantly white area, you know? So, like, for me, that's where a lot of my struggles came from.
Well, for my mom, it's different. It wasn't that she didn't like it. She knows how she's perceived.
Yeah.
That's the difference. Your mom riding down the road with her windows down playing Vibes Cartel to the max is different than my mom doing it.
Yeah,
and that's what you never have to think of it like that. She does. And that's the difference. Like, you know, like there's this whole perception on it. It's like you guys didn't have to, like, you weren't having to think of it that way, or that wasn't perceived in your mind, whereas like for me it was. My mom made it very clear, if you hang out with those ghetto ratchet kids, you're gonna be looked at as those ghetto ratchet kids. Unfortunately. I was taken out of things, and that's why I didn't learn a lot of like art.
All I ever wanted. I don't even understand that. From what family did we have? What family did any of us have, actually?
Not really. We had each other. We became each other's family.
We do not have no family. Like,
our family just felt so far removed.
I used to always get at my dad about it because he would be like, "Oh, families." And I'm like, "Bro, what family do I have?"
You didn't allow me to get really close to my family.
My friends are my family. That is all I have. I don't have no family. I don't have no cousins I'm close with.
I think what pisses me off, especially now at like my big age, when my mom's like, "Oh, you need to come meet these people. They're family."
But now it's
she's lived 21
I've
years.
lived many years without these people in my life. How are they family now? Why am I now going to meet them? I don't care.
And it's just like we have no foundation.
It's awkward. It's just awkward and weird. What am I going to talk to with my grown male cousin? Me, my big age.
We have no memories to look back on us growing up.
I remember even when we met your cousin Sakeem, I was like, damn, that's so cool. Like, you have cousins.
The light skin experience.
But anyways, thank you for listening to us. Yeah, for 5 hours, guys.
Thanks for the TED Talk.